It is Mother's Day, 2024. Happy Mother's Day, dear.
Thank you. Happy Mother's Day, Lon. Lon doesn't want to be left out of anything.
This is one of my happiest Mother's Day ever. So,
Why is that?
I don't know. I was just, years and years ago, my sister-in-law prepared a cake
You've told us a million times.
for Easter. But it still makes me laugh. I get such a kick out of
Lon
myself.
likes Merry Christmas, Lon. Happy Easter, Lon. Happy Constance's birthday, Lon. Happy Halloween, Lon.
It is Mother's Day. Many of you may know that for several years, I think a total of 3 years, I was a chaplain of my Masonic Lodge, Long Beach Lodge 327 in Long Beach, California.
Which is the same as being a mother? Oh, excuse me.
And as chaplain, I was allowed to open up every stated meeting with a short prayer that I could write myself and put us in the mood for discussing pancake breakfasts and things like that. So one of those May meetings, I opened the lodge like this. Great Architect of the universe, tonight as we gather in our beloved lodge, erected to you, we pray that you will keep us ever mindful of the divine qualities made manifest in motherhood. Our ancient brethren labored for over 500 years to erect the great cathedrals of Europe. It is a profound testament to their devotion to the mysteries of motherhood that each of those great edifices is named Our Lady. Supreme Grand Master, no matter how we may choose to envision you, we ask that you will daily make each one of us more conscious and appreciative of the wondrous aspects of deity embodied in the women that bless our lives. Our mothers, our wives, our daughters. Amen.
That's because you never had a sister.
I never had a sister. But you are all women wrapped up in one comrade. Okay, when discussing the theme of today's talk this morning, Constance made an observation that I'm sure perhaps many of us have made, but about Aleister Crowley's mother. Now, Aleister Crowley's mother, here's what she looked like, we think. Now, I can pretty much see Aleister Crowley's crazy eyes in that picture, but
Steadfast, endure to the end, live.
Yeah, her name was Emily Bertha Bishop Crowley, and she was a devout member of the Plymouth Brethren, a fundamentalist Christian sect that actually it was the archetype of the modern evangelical movement, complete with all of its very fundamentalist craziness concerning the imminent return in the clouds and the hellfire and brimstone of modern evangelicalism. She imposed strict religious disciplines on her son, which led to tensions between them. As a matter of fact, later in his biography, he said she was a woman without a spark of imagination. And he said quite a few unkind things about her in his biography. And it was a rebellion against her, and after his father died, members of her family that got him into full-blown rebellion against their cult. And but despite their differences, Crowley maintained a relationship with Emily there throughout her entire life. And in her later years, when she's unable to care for herself, he arranged for her to live in a nursing home and paid for her care right up until she died in 1906. So she was still alive when the Book of the Law was channeled. And Crowley later wrote that he had a sense of guilt about his treatment of his mother and described her as, quote, the only person who had ever really loved me.
Well, there you go.
So if we can hear you, okay, share what you're...
Well, I was thinking about Crowley when we were just talking now about her lack of imagination. Well, what does it say on the cover of the Equinox?
The method of science, the aim of religion.
She actually goaded him. Maybe it may seem like a negative way, but don't do what I've done. He did what she did. He didn't add imagination and pretend, and he hates charlatans and people, magicians fascinators and all that kind of stuff who try to do magic tricks and call it real magic. He wanted the method of science in the name of religion to be a partner. So she even helped with that, because everything that she did just really goaded him to do and she gave him that classical religious education,
right?
Which he based every bit of his writing on.
Our holy books of Thelema.
Everything is based on that. So no. So happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers, first of all, and happy Mother's Day to all of you children. The children, I'm sure you're all, most of you are very grateful for your parents and think they've done the best job they could do, and but I know that there's also a few of you who think that at least sometimes your parents were totally screwed up and there must have been a mistake made.
What am I doing here?
Yeah, there must have been a mistake made, and my parents are, they're hurting me, and of course some people physically actually were hurt by their parents, and I'm kind of not talking about that because that's a different level of. But even, I think probably even, who knows? I'm just not able to judge on that level, but or any level actually. But I'm talking about there wasn't a mistake made. You probably got everything you needed from your parents. And the older you get, you think so too. That they really did the best they could, first of all, which is, sometimes that's really, they're left with no resources at all.
And in a sense, we have to simultaneously thank her and blame her
for the B666.
For the B666,
yeah.
and because illumination is illumination, okay,
right.
and an illuminated.
There's no right or wrong in it. First of all, you got to get over that heap of crap.
That heap of crap, and he was good at giving voice to what a heap of crap that is. But illumination is generic, and for the profit of a particular illuminated master, if you will, they're stuck. He or she is stuck with giving voice to that illumination through whatever vehicle of language and imagery and art that they have at their disposal. And Crowley's, what he had at his disposal,
with his mother's religious upbringing, and we all have this. And now we're talking about all you mothers and parents out there too. Don't think that that you're unqualified to be a parent. If you are one, you're qualified. I mean, no matter how young you are, I had a good pediatrician for Jean Paul for the first year, somehow not less than a year even. He had a good pediatrician who said, if your mother-in-law gives you advice, or any relative or friend gives you that you, because you're young and you feel obliged to do it, but you don't want to do it, you don't like it, you don't know how to, and it stresses you out, forget about it. He says, tell them, whatever you're doing now, with your instinct and whatever you know, tell them I told you to do it. And they will listen to that. That was the coolest thing. I was shocked. Anyway. Which is, okay. Because I think your children come to you, I think you choose your parents. You choose your parents. And they don't come to you for social status, for money, for, I don't know, entertainment. I mean, strange entertainments, education even. They do come for those things, but they don't come for it. Don't worry about, now we were lucky in a strange, we were very, very, we were poor. And I was hungry a lot of the time, but Jean Paul wasn't. We were poor for a long time. And luckily we had grandmas on both sides and grandpa that helped with Christmas presents and stuff, and Jean Paul was reasonable. But they come for you, for your time. And I suppose I could have gotten a job and tried to pay a
car payment.
Well, no, we didn't have. Often we didn't have cars or phones or any of that kind of stuff, and it was hard, and food was difficult, and rent was difficult, but what was I going to say? They come for your time, so don't necessarily think it's more important for you to have a second or third car so you can drive them to their soccer lessons or whatever. I mean, they'll end up doing those things. Jean Paul was very poor, and we took quarters for him to have ballet lessons with his friends for a couple of years. We walked Jean Paul and his friend and his friend's mother and I walked in Costa Mesa to a ballet studio about a mile away with the kids, and she had her other baby. She was probably nursing at the time.
Yeah, she was nursing.
Her.
Yeah.
And we took our quarters and stuff to pay for the whatever $1.50 or whatever the ballet lessons were, and ballet and tap lessons. And they were so happy to have the two boys, and because Jean Paul had seen Fred Astaire movies and wanted to learn how to do that when he was little. So, and he also got to do Aikido lessons, I think it was, or some kind of a martial arts thing, which Grandma helped pay for. But in any case, those things came. Whether you had a lot of money, don't concentrate on having the money, and don't be the kind of parent. I'm giving you advice. I don't care. You can just throw it out the window.
It's Mother's Day. Yes, go ahead.
That's what mothers do.
Let her run the rig.
Let me run. Don't be the kind of parent who says, we're going to have steaks on the barbecue today. The kids will have hot dogs. Or we're going to the movies and we're letting the kids off at one theater and we're going to sit in the other one and watch another movie. Do these things together. You go when they're 3 years old, you be 3 years old. When they're 5 years old, you be 5 years old. And then you'll grow up together and you'll both learn a lot of stuff. Don't be afraid to do that. Make it simple. Just share your life with them. That's what they came for. They didn't come for things that you could buy them.
Amen.
And read to them all the time too.
Yes.
That's the best entertainment you can give them.
And who'd we see? Our
and talk to them constantly. Get off your phone when you're with them. Talk to them. Just have what do I do? I'm constant. I do this my whole life. Train of consciousness talking. It drives your husband crazy. Your children like it, and so do dogs and cats.
Yes. I have a stream of consciousness too,
Really?
It doesn't show.
It doesn't show. But anyway, so I'm just saying.
Don't send them to preschool if you can.
If you don't need it as a babysitter, don't do it as a.
And if you can teach them to read, yes, you can. If you can read, you can teach your children to read. And if it's not the law,
and your friends are their friends.
Yeah.
And they'll have neighbor friends or some children too. It'll all work. Just have confidence in yourself.
Jean-Paul raised us.
That's right.
So.
Everything I know, I will.
Okay, thank you, dear. You're
I'm going to
going for a bike
I'm going
ride?
to wash my face, and breakfast is almost ready. So I'm going to go for a bicycle ride, I think, unless my tires are flat. I sound funny because the allergies are starting.
It's very allergy-y out there with all these trees and
Yes.
stuff. So, but it's a beautiful day, so go out
The
and
morning doves are hooing in the backyard, and it's sunny,
Yes.
and it's going to be very hot again, which DuQuettes here like. The rest of the neighbors.
we love it when it's 110.
I,
And, yeah.
when everybody else is cowering in fear, we're going, it's hot, we're not in pain, it's good.
It feels good to our old bones. So. Well, happy Mother's Day. Thank you for that Mother's Day message. And I've got a little something about my mother and me. That I want to say too, because the same thing holds true for me. Okay. I've pointed out a lot of negative things
That's an understatement.
about my mother. Okay, I talk about her in My Life with the Spirits a bit. I talk about her in Homemade Magic. And I've got a chapter called Family Secrets that I read from you just a day or so ago. And she was a very difficult woman and bordering on light physical abuse. She had a terrible temper and it would get out of control and such. So, and for years and years and years, I took almost perverse delight in bragging about how much I disliked my mother. But it was a lie. I didn't dislike her. I was first of all, like Crowley's mother, whose traumatic relationship more or less set the pattern for Crowley's entire creative life. And toward the end of his life, he saw it, okay? We wouldn't be talking about the B666, and we wouldn't be talking about the Whore of Babylon, and we wouldn't be talking about Scarlet Women, and we wouldn't be talking about these universal spiritual dynamics in those terms, if not for Crowley. We can even see it sort of manifest in the knee-jerk reaction of the very spiritual forces that he did despise, but by saying, "Oh, he's Satan. He's talking about Lucifer. He's the devil himself." He would have just got a great kick out of that. Okay. Because in a sense, he was a prophet for those who had ears to hear. Well, I'm not saying I'm any kind of prophet or anything else. I'm just a 76-year-old man here that has lived what I'm happy to say was an interesting life, and in my own unorganized way have been allowed by by life circumstances to express myself in various creative ways. You're going to say something, I think, dear, right?
Well, if you're on a roll, I won't.
Okay. No, I'm not on a roll. I'm at the bottom of the hill almost. My rolling is about
I
ready.
was just thinking that being a child and being a parent is your chance for both of you to express unconditional love, which you don't get to do very often. Or you should get to do it more often, but your chance to practice it so you can do it more often. And eventually the children leave home and eventually your hormones calm down and you would have been a better parent if you figure out anyway.
Right.
Mother. But I kind of remember either I told John Paul or I wished it for him that when he left that he have a mother in every port, and I kind of wish that for all of you too, that you have a mother in every port. And yesterday Lon was playing. Oh God, it was wonderful. I heard it from his office. Someone has recorded Yogananda's Cosmic Chants and with their own little small choir or whatever they call it. It's awesome. And they were singing. What were they singing, dear?
Kalima.
No.
Yeah. Oh, it was
Steal Away.
Steal Away, Steal Away. Yeah.
And what else?
Divine Mother.
1,000 Vedas.
1,000 Vedas do declare.
Divine Mothers everywhere.
Everywhere.
So, to all of you, try to feel it today that 1,000 Vedas do declare Divine Mothers everywhere.
Well, I can't top that one.
Neither can I.
Thank you, dear. Just in my own case, my mother had a beautiful voice, sang in church choirs, taught me to sing, not as a lesson, just as an example. She forced me to go to church and forced me to go not only to Sunday school, but other duties in the church, including the choir. And it was all alone in that Methodist church, folding bulletins on Saturday, that I felt the essence of a spiritual presence that had nothing to do with Jesus, had nothing to do with Methodists or anything else, or the doctrines or anything. But it introduced me to God. And when I started to learn popular music and everything else, she encouraged my singing. And when I bought a guitar, she taught me the first song that I ever learned on the guitar, the Ballad of Jesse James. Okay, and that began the whole career of that. And I started to sing with a partner, another boy my age. And she drove us to the Lincoln, to the television station where we auditioned for to be on TV. She arranged our first gig. My first professional music gig was to sing at a Christmas party at the department store where she worked in Columbus, which got me used to performing in public, performing in front of people, public speaking. That's why I'm just I get normal stage fright and everything else, but I don't freak out at public speaking. And here is a sort of an averse thing. When I was in high school and became politically aware and involved in the anti-war movement and the anti-draft movement, she was concerned that I'd fallen in with communists and they were teaching me to hate my mother. And she contacted the FBI, okay, Uh, and of course, it was misguided, misguided gesture. Okay, because I could have gone. I was draft counseling on public property and things like that, and she told her friend that she told my father that she would rather see me go to prison than to ruin my life. Okay, and things like that. Yeah, I held against her and everything else. But when I started thinking about what Constance said about Crowley's mother this morning, uh, I wouldn't be who I am, or I wouldn't be doing what I do, or I wouldn't be creating what I'm creating, or I wouldn't be interested in what I'm interested in, and I wouldn't be breathing what I'm breathing, or being nourished by what nourishes me, if not for her. Now, when she died, I wrote a eulogy, sort of highlighting her shortcomings, and it was very funny. And the minister, everybody who was there knew her enough to really find it funny. But I think I would, in addition to that, I would write another one today. But anyway, that's my way of saying Happy Mother's Day. Can you still hear us, dear? I'm going to sign off now. Happy Mother's Day again to you.
Well, happy Mother's Day again to you, dear.
Until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other and be good to your mother.
Don't let the communists teach you to hate your mother.
Don't let the communists teach you. Let them teach you other things.
Right.
Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law.
Love is the law. Love under will. Let them teach you other things.